in addition to the gods, each player also receives 25 to 30 men, each infantry representing 1 man, and elephants that represent 5 men each. And they're really kind of cool. And on top of that, each player also receives a temple. And from here it has special mystical qualities to those who have them. And actually, each player receives 1 temple at the beginning of the game and is never destroyed in the game. They can only be captured. And they allow, if you place them in a certain territory, if you have a battle in that territory, you can reroll all 1s when a temple is present. And that's always helpful to have. They also allow for resurrected armies from the underworld to go to that temple from a crypt, which we'll explain a little bit later. But, and of course in this game you can build additional temples for 5 faith tokens, if I'm correct. At any rate, and then from there, that's in addition to the gods and armies and the temples that each player receives, there's also the critical component of faith tokens. These faith tokens are received for each territory that you own, as well as any continental bonuses that you receive for owning, say, all of Africa or all of Europe or all of Asia Minor, etc. And these faith tokens allow you to summon the gods from your pantheon onto the map board. They also allow you to purchase certain miracle cards that are used to play in the game with your god when he's on the map board. And finally, certain miracle cards require a certain amount of faith to even activate them, if you will. So it's a critical part of the game of faith tokens, and it actually makes it a very interesting game. So the number of territories you have determines how many faith tokens you receive, and so divided by 3, that is, within the game itself. But also, in addition to that, for each temple you own, you get an additional faith token, as well as an army, 1 individual army for each temple that you have. And from there, of course, you can spend your faith tokens all at once, or you could save them for later turns, which is a very good idea to do, depending on what you want to do. And so that's basically what the game starts out with for each player. Now in this game, the way to obtain territories is to invade each territory with your armies, of course. And as you can see here, this map is way different from your normal Risk game. You'll notice these mountain ranges that are listed here or shown here on the map. These are impassable mountain ranges. So it kind of forces you to go through certain territories if you want to take out certain continents or take continents from other players. And in this case, Hyrcania here, it only has 4 territories, but it's surrounded by these mountain ranges in which there's really only, about 2 or 3 ways to get into it. Either one through Asia Minor right here, or through Germania or Varangia right here, and finally through Scythia or Dacia from Europa. And a lot of territories are like that in this game. So it's not really easy to sweep through. You are confined to sea zones right here to cross over. Certain territories will have 2 or 3 sea zones going into them. But generally it is a fixed land mass, and you're limited by what avenues of approach to go through. So Europe is definitely the hardest to hold. It is surrounded by everybody, as you can tell, but it gives you the most points. It gives you 7 point continental bonus if you can control it all. good luck. Africa is the next biggest one. I personally like Africa. It gives you 5 bonus points if you hold this continent. And you can attack both Atlantis, Germania, Europe, and Asia Minor if you hold Africa. Of course, they can attack you in response as well. But the territories are basically pretty easy to defend. I really like Africa. Really recommend that if you can get it, do so. Another good one is Asia Minor, and just because it's limited to the avenues of approach, there's only Sheba and Phoenicia, as well as Parthia, by which to enter through. So it's pretty easy to defend, and but that of course limits you to attacking Anatolia or Sarmatia, or going to attack Egypt. But it is what it is here on this map.